Everyone, it is now 5:30 and it is the Park and Recreation Board meeting on November 5th. So I will call the meeting to order at 6:30, at 5:30. And then do we have any board members online or are we all here? Awesome. Well, let's do some introductions and Jenny, do you want to start on your end and then we'll go around in a clockwise fashion?
I'm Jenny Wilson. I'm a parks planner.
I'm Brett Bowler in Public Works. Aaron Wheeler, board chair.
Hillary Dykstra, commissioner.
Bill Fosbury, Commissioner.
Annette Rock, commissioner.
Michelle Gibson, Commissioner.
Lori Davies, commissioner.
Gary Larson, Commissioner.
Cody Lee, Recreation Supervisor.
Carter Gibson, Executive Assistant.
Awesome. And then what staff member do we have online? Do we have one?
No, that's just.
Oh, okay, perfect. Awesome. It's the first time in a while we've had everyone here, so that's great. All right, so and then Michelle has volunteered to do our land acknowledgement.
We, the city of Lacey, are on the ancestral land of the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek, including the Nisqually Indian Tribe and Squaxin Island Tribe. We acknowledge and remember those tribal people not recognized today who were absorbed or relocated into other tribes for survival. We recognize the ancestors and their descendants who are still here. We recognize and respect the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek as the traditional stewards of this land since time immemorial, and their role today in taking care of these lands in perpetuity. We recognize and have the responsibility to call attention to the histories of dispossession, forced removal, and abridged treaty rights that allowed our nation, state, and city to develop as they have today. We recommend that community members read the Medicine Creek Treaty of 1854.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, on to item 4, which is the approval of agenda and minutes. So item A, approval of the agenda. After reading the agenda, does anyone have any changes or questions or anything they want to address before we vote? All right, then can I get a motion to approve the today's meeting minutes? You get a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, the agenda is approved. Now on for item B, so approval October 1st, 2025 meeting minutes. Any questions about the meeting minutes that were distributed before? No? Okay, hearing none, do I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, that is approved as well. Public comment, I think Carter was saying that there was no public comments online yet, and all the other public comments were in the packet, so if you guys had an opportunity to read those. Item number 6, we have Cody, our recreational supervisor, who's going to give us an update on the summer youth programs.
Yeah, hello. Like I said, my name's Cody Lee. I've been with the city for almost 19 years now, overseeing community recreation programs. Yeah, actually longer. I started part-time, I think, in 2001 or 2. So
Thank you, Cody.
been here a while, love it, love Lacey. And especially love providing summer programs. That's how I got started as a counselor, part-time, running our day camps. So that's what we did all summer. We ran day camp programs. We have 2 locations for our day camps. Those are the traditional ones, open 7:30 to 5:30 all day long. They are at Lakes and Lydia Hawk Elementary. And we average about 42 campers a day or a week at each of those sites. So we're busy taking them on field trips, providing arts and crafts activities, and a lot of fun. And then our Playground Pals program normally are on site at the same locations, but this summer, we're typically our day camps is usually at Mountain View. We had to move over to Lakes for the summer because of construction on the gym. So we had to separate the 2 programs. So one of them, the Playground Pals program, was out at Chambers Prairie, and then the other one was over at Lydia Hawk. And those programs are free. Again, we average probably 45 kids at each one of those, and they're partnered with the North Thurston School District's summer food service program, so the kids are able to get free lunches and free snacks and do recreation activities with them. Really great program, a lot of fun. Let's see what else we had
I have a
going.
question.
Yeah,
On the Lydia Hawk, is that, you guys use both sides of the hill for the playgrounds? Or just-
yeah, we do. It creates a unique challenge over there because for the youth that don't know, the gym where our base camp is at the back of the school and the main playground is out front, so there's a lot of back and forth between the playgrounds and then they use the back playground for soccer and field games back there. But yeah, so other than those kind of more two traditional camps, we have our specialty camps. We partner with Bricks for Kids to do STEM classes, art classes. These are all week-long camps for kids. And we try to bring in some new ones. And one of the new ones we partnered with Intercity Transit and their walk and roll program and did the teens biking to destinations, a super cool week-long program. 15 kids got to come out to Woodland Creek Community Park and learn traffic safety on bikes, learn how to ride bikes. Some of them had never ridden a bike before. And by the end of the week, each one of them went home with a brand new bike, helmet, and all the gear supplied for free to them. Super cool program. So I was really excited to be able to provide that.
Did we provide those bikes or did we have those donated?
No, Intercity Transit did.
Oh,
They
Intercity
have
Transit. Cool.
they have a grant to do that. Planning on doing that again with them. I believe it was, I can't remember how long their grant is, but it's many more years to come of that, so. Other cool new ones that we did that we had no clue were gonna work out were sewing camp. And then Weird Science Nature Camp. We had a lot of kids registered for those. And then we did some ballet dance workshops. So exciting new programs going on. And then just some pictures of our summer fun. Everett on the right there is at our STEM camp. We have our teens. We also run a teen camp. I guess I didn't mention that. That runs out of Lakes. And they take a 15-passenger van every single day and go on a field trip. Over the 8 weeks, they kind of adventure all over the place. And then, like I said, our weekly attendance for our programs, I think we're right around had 195 kids per week in program over the 8 weeks of summer. So serving a lot of kids over the course of the summer. And that is really in large part to our amazing staff. We bring on 40 part-time staff during the summer that provide all this fun. On this one, I think they all took pies in the face or shaving cream pies to the face. And the kids were super, super excited about that.
Of course.
Yeah, who doesn't love throwing a pie in their counselor's face? Yeah, and that's kind of a recap of the summer and community recreation with our teen and youth programs. You guys have any questions?
No, I guess that bike program, if every kid got a bike, was the class full? Is there a limit to how many they can have? per class?
Yeah, they could have 15.
15, that was so,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Is
And
there-
was it advertised that they got a bike at the end?
Yep.
So with that, is there a barrier for entry? Is it specified more for like lower income so they can?
Nope, it's really first come, yeah. There's no, yeah. It's
Perfect.
First come, first serve. As long as you haven't taken the class before and they run it through the schools during the course of the school year too, so,
Oh, okay, so it's
Yeah.
not just that one opportunity.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And do they do it with Olympia also or just?
I believe they were doing it with Olympia also.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to get another weekend, so maybe we'll get a couple weeks of that same thing going next summer.
Thank you, Cody. Anyone else have any questions for Cody?
Just something on their bike program, something that anybody wants to know. Energy Transit has a great, if you have used bikes or bikes you don't want, you can donate them and they will completely refurbish them. And then there's kids in the program that not in this one, but in Intercity Transit that will work on refurbishing, and then once they refurbish them, they get to keep them.
Oh, wow.
They provide all of the materials for that, so if you have extra bikes hanging around and it's a great opportunity it's a great place to donate your bikes.
Just intercity transit, just on Martin Way, just
Yep.
that building, okay?
Yeah, they've got a separate area that's got all kinds of stuff going.
Good to know. The
Bikes.
bike was gonna be going to the dump or I was just
Yeah.
gonna, great, so.
That's a lot better
I
use of
put it, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
That's awesome.
I do have one more thing. Lauren Young, who was the coordinator in this position, left the city at the end of the summer. Her husband got transferred out to Virginia, I think, actually. And we are moving forward with a new coordinator. His name is Doug Briggs and he will be starting.
Most of you should know Doug.
Yeah, he did.
Some of you should.
He was our sports coordinator in the
Oh.
past. So he starts with us on the 17th of November. So excited to have Doug back.
Cool. Awesome. Well,
Way
thanks
to
for
take my thunder from my report. Way to go.
You told me to report. You said, whatever you want to report.
I just gave you 14 less words you had to say. Great. Well, thank you,
Got a
Cody.
sign out at the dump for bikes. The bike, it's-
Yeah, I don't know if they do. They should.
Yeah, we'll see. I've been there a couple times and I've seen them.
People
out
just
growing, Sitting
tossing.
in the garage, putting them out the garage, they look like good bikes.
Yeah.
They got a good.
We'll all be taking them now.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well then, next we have the regional athletic complex improvements from Brett Bugrid.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm here to provide an update on the rack improvements project as we continue through the 30% design process. And see if I can answer any questions that you guys have. As you know, council directed staff to focus the efforts for this project on improving the existing rack development, so on the east side of Marvin. And there's essentially three different buckets that we're kind of grouping these into. The first one is the base bid. So that's the ones that we intend on awarding for sure once it's advertised. The second bucket is the ad alternates. So if there's funding, we'll award those. And the third one being future improvements that would require additional funding from partners in the future. So the base bid is mostly reflected up on the screen here. It consists of converting soccer field 2 to synthetic turf and adding lights with the purpose of extending the field use hours to community groups, as well as additional seating to the west of field 1 for increased spectator capacity, as well as various fencing upgrades around soccer field 2 and outfield netting for baseball fields 1 and 2. The second bucket being the ad alternates consists of Wi-Fi upgrades and expansions throughout the baseball or soccer fields, as well as hardscape improvements and additional fencing, on how much funding we have available, based on how bids come in. The third bucket is the bucket that includes the future improvements that council directed us to determine high-level cost estimates for, in case we were able to secure additional partnerships and additional funding as a part of that. And that includes or would allow for more competitive teams to use the facilities with the goal of increasing economic impact. In conclusion, before we get to questions, I just want to thank all the support that we've had on this project, in particular the design consultants, SCJ Alliance, and their partners for the work they've put in. And then we will also be updating City Council on November 25th at that work session, and providing estimates at that time. And finance staff will be providing information on the project financial capacity based off the PFD sales tax, and revenue to issue debt for the capital improvements. The focus of that work session is to update City Council on progress of the project in order to stay on track to move to 60% design in January and stay on time for PFD funding opportunities staff can then move further in the development of construction plans. And so that's the presentation I have for you guys. Do you have any questions?
So on field two on the hillside, where the light standards are gonna get.
Yes.
They're gonna get replaced, or
Uh,
they're gonna just be updated?
Field 2 doesn't currently have,
Okay,
it's okay, no worries.
so you're gonna install lights,
Correct.
and then did you talk to the homeowners that are around there? Cause a lot of times you don't aim them correctly, they get mad.
I know there's been contact with homeowners around the area, and these would be LEDs, so they'd be very directional.
Okay.
So it should be significantly less than past
And the nice thing about this too is there's the field 4, which is up above adjacent, so there's a whole field
Kind of a buffer.
as a
Yes.
buffer. And there's no, on the bottom side, there's no houses on that bottom
Right.
side, so it's a really an ideal location to have lights if you're going to pick one.
Any other questions? Awesome. I think we're good to go, Brett. Thank you so much for presenting it for us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
great. Yeah,
Thanks, Cody.
thank you, Cody. All right, so that brings us to item C, the 2025 Draft Parks Board accomplishments presented by Jenny Wilson, our senior park planner.
So we included this in your packet, which is the draft of our accomplishments for 2025. It's been really busy, productive year. We've had quite a few achievements. Just a few that I want to highlight is, of course, construction of Greg Cuyo Park, which is nearing completion.
Do you have a date on it yet? I mean, I got an email, Facebook, something that it made it seem like it was open, but
No.
then it said, no, it's not, you know,
It's not, we're hoping by the end of December. That's kind of.
end of December.
Yep.
For
Yep.
Bush. No, for
Cuyo.
Cuyo.
That's right.
Yep. Also, since our last meeting, the Woodland Creek Bridge replacement project is completed and opened. That was a few weeks ago. So had to sneak that into our accomplishments real quick. Also awarded to RCO, Washington State Recreation Conservation Office grants for the Bush Park and Rainier Vista projects coming up. Those are pretty significant amounts of money for us. That's great. We also were awarded $5,000 from the Park Foundation of Thurston County for summer youth programs that Cody talked about. The other achievements were the Parks Improvement Funding Work Group, which, as you know, made their final recommendation to City Council to pursue a Metropolitan Park District. And then Bush Park Playground Replacement Project is in the works. Started with our community outreach. You know, we have the tugboat theme that we're moving forward with. So this is just a list of all of them, kind of categorized by the ones that were on our work plan and then other noteworthy accomplishments. And so this is just a draft. We'll bring another version at our December meeting for final approval. And then this is also something that when we have our joint meeting with City Council, we usually go over our accomplishments along with their work plan. I have to report on that. Yeah, if you have any
Perfect.
questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Simple and sweet.
It's nice to see Bill as noteworthy. You were a noteworthy accomplishment.
Okay. I was thinking about hiring all the folks you've had in this last year. You were finally at full complement. Of course, now you're down.
Well, that was close.
Yeah.
All right, well then, back to Jenny Wilson, the senior park planner for the 2026 Draft Parks Board Work Plan.
Yeah, so similarly, coming up with our work plan, we included it in your packet. As you may recall, we reviewed this and updated it in August, which is kind of our mid-year update. So since we included it in your packet, there's been a couple emerging items. One is to add to the work plan is a review of a lift station project at Watchers Park. So city manager has approved the use of a small portion of Watchers Park property for a lift station. Good question, thank you. A lift station is a pump system used to move wastewater from one location to the main sewer line.
Now, where's this park?
Launchers Park, it's the one on Hicks Lake.
So is
On
that, so they
Hicksley.
can put like permanent facilities into it?
No, it's just more general infrastructure
Oh, okay.
for the city.
So they
Okay,
don't
so wastewater,
rely on-
not like. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I get
They
it.
don't rely on septic.
Stormwater,
What?
stormwater or waste?
Sewer.
Sewer.
Wastewater,
Yeah, get them off the
Yep.
septic around. the
So
lake.
would that
So-
take up a lot of room?
No, we're kind of in the discussion phase of it right now. Initial discussions is that it's about 50 by 100 feet. So it's not a huge area that it'll take. But I'm adding it, I just wanted to note that I'm adding it to the work plan. Future information will come to you guys. Public Works staff is gonna hire a consultant to do the design and develop concepts for it. And that'll come to you guys at a future date to review possible locations.
Actually,
with
why
the park.
wouldn't Public Works do all that?
They're doing that and they're gonna come,
Your proposed budget.
well,
It's on
because
park
it's something that
property.
you guys are gonna have to review and come up with
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why we're not doing the heavy lifting. They're doing,
Yeah.
hiring consultants. Public Works is doing that, but
It crosses into our board.
it crosses into,
Cause it takes up space.
yep, exactly.
And then
Exactly.
it's just, and so is that just it just benefits for future development of the park, having that pump station?
I don't think it's necessarily, and this is, I think our Public Works team will probably be better equipped to answer the questions about it. But I don't think it's necessarily for the park's future. It's just general infrastructure
Just-
for houses.
There's
Development.
more
Okay.
development.
Oh, so I see, so so that they're using that park property to put the pump station that's benefiting the surrounding community
Right.
to
get
help
people-
move the sewage through. It's
Right.
like, okay.
Right.
now-
Get people
Eventually-
off the
eventually,
septic.
It would be nice if we had a restroom. and-
Right.
That'd be nice, we could
Right.
tap into that.
I guess that's
There-
right, yeah.
There are gonna be some other agreements that come with it, like there's an assessment of the appraised value that they'll get that will,
Cause is
the
it,
Parks Department will get.
because aren't there a bunch of apartments or something?
Yeah,
being
that's
built
probably
that
part of
has-
it because of the apartments
Yes.
coming in, additional housing, then
Yeah.
that additional.
Yeah, I think the
Which-
main thing is there is a pump station, a lift station there that needs to be replaced. That's kind of
Ah.
aging. It's also it's right on the road. It's in the right of way. So it's not a great location, but again, it's pretty early discussions. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
get it to your work plan. I don't.
Since they.
Certainly,
Property.
I'm not the person to be answering a bunch of questions about that, but it will be on, I just wanted to update the work plan, so
Perfect,
coming.
thank you.
And then another change to the work plan is, I removed the, Woodland Creek Community Park Food Forest. That's been on there for a while, and really the challenge here is just finding a non-profit partner, to build and operate that food forest. Has
I
been-
thought we had one.
There were, I believe, this is more of a gen background information, but I believe there was some initial discussions with a community group. But it didn't come to
Didn't pan out.
There were
fruition,
some
right?
plans to having out of Woodland Creek Community Park and it
Right.
never came to fruition.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was something that had been talked about, the plans had been drawn.
yeah.
Yeah, so taking it off, but it could still be a project that moves forward if we had a funding partner who could operate it, and so, but just a little bit more accurately reflects what is probably gonna be happening in the near future. Certainly for 2026, it's not gonna happen, so. Those are really the main changes. Some of the dates were updated, but I think that's pretty much it. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
For the pending funding items,
Oh, yep.
is there, since the
MPD.
MPD didn't pass, are those just like, there's no money for those things at all?
Correct.
Okay, correct.
Yeah, so, it's possible to have some grants. This one is really the conversion of LED lights in the baseball complex. That's what that one was really intended for. So like Brett talked about,
Yeah,
there's still some movement in the soccer area to
Yeah.
do LED lights.
Well,
Yeah, and then I know that there's been some discussions about doing some grant requests, state, federal potentially for Huntermer Park, but yeah, just kind of think we had dates on there, but
Yeah.
can't really have dates when we don't have the
Yeah.
funding for it, so.
And don't we need to keep them on the list because aren't there still discussions going on with council about next steps after the
Yes.
MPD?
Yep.
And, you know, that's
Yep.
what Jen talked about last meeting and I think it's important for us to keep them on the list and keep that focus for council that says, hey, there are these huge needs we're hearing from the community.
Yeah,
We want them to move forwards, not
especially number 20.
not just die because we didn't get the MPD.
Right. Exactly.
I do have another question about planning, and this is kind of related to one of the emails that came in from the public, and I think it's like maybe a third or fourth time since I've been a commissioner that the idea of more fenced in playgrounds. And I know that's more money, but I don't have children with autism, but I have wanderers too.
Right.
And I think it would be cool someday, you know, even if in each like corner of Lacey, we had at least one park, you know, that was popular that could have a fenced in playground.
Yeah,
And the retaining pond too. I've worried about that very same retaining pond.
yeah,
It's really close to the playground.
right. I think there's a way that we can consider that in the future.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's tough when it's kind of the planning's already started for.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but-
We can keep it in our back pocket.
Right, and I wanna say that I think Cuyo Park, future phases, I think that was something that was perhaps on the plan too, was additional phases, like potentially fence in the playground, so.
Yeah.
But for right now, the only one is Depot Park,
Yes.
which that's,
And we've never had
Very
an
much.
incident at that Bush Park retaining pond, like there's been no
no,
kid hurt or anything like that.
no. And most of our parks, many of our parks have a retaining
Yeah.
system.
Rainier does too.
Yep.
It's just so far from the playground.
Right.
I think it's the proximity of the retaining pond to the Bush Park.
Right, you go. Okay, and any other questions on our work plan? So this is again, something that we'll take to city council for their approval at the joint work session, which is in January.
Perfect. I got none. Any other board members? No? All right, then moving on to the McKinney Building recommendations, and this is a actionable item.
So your packet tonight was 160 pages, a lot of it because of information from the
Oh,
McKinney
yeah.
Building. I don't know if you had a chance to read through it. Yeah, so we have a staff report regarding the McKinney Building. And we have a staff recommendation in there. Just a little bit of background about the building is the building, its possible future uses. It's been on Parks Board and the Historical Commission's work plan for quite some time. And so we're asking both boards to make a recommendation to City Council on next steps. So they'll theoretically have two recommendations from both boards. And so to help inform the decision-making, we hired a critical areas assessment and a historic preservation reports. So kind of the one focusing on obviously the natural setting of the park, another one focusing on the building and the historic information that is related to that. Is everybody familiar with McKinney Building on Pacific Avenue? It's
Yeah.
pretty prominently located there, right across from the community center. It's a property that we've owned since 2001. And yeah, after we first purchased it, Historical Commission made a recommendation to salvage the building. I think there was initial thoughts of demolishing it. And so the city put $50,000 towards stabilizing the building. But there's been no further planning or efforts on it. And so it's really deteriorated just from the age, vandalism, and just no funding for preserving it, so. So just a little recap, the preservation consultant determined that that building lacks the structural integrity and historic authenticity. It's not eligible for local, state, or national registers. And part of the process is to document and take photos and archive those with the Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation. So it's accessible to the public. And then the general information about this site is that it's located, as you know, within Lake Lois Habitat Reserved. It's zoned as open space institutional, so that kind of limits some of the potential uses of it. And then the critical areas report identified some sensitive areas. It's really close to Woodland Creek. So there's a 200-foot buffer. So that really makes the left or west side of the building pretty much not usable. It's right up against that 200-foot buffer. There's a 100-foot buffer around Lake Lois. And then there's also quite a few Oregon white oaks are considered a priority habitat. And so development is really restricted because of these environmental protections. And then there also is a trail on the east side of the building that goes from Pacific Avenue into the park. And so that was built by a Boy Scout troop many years ago. So you might have seen there's a sign that says recognizing them for that. So some of the things that we did consider is a possible partnership or rehabilitation, perhaps through like a request for proposals to private partnerships. And so we feel this is pretty unlikely because of how poor thing is in cost, and then just the general site limitations from the environmental impact. So staff is recommending, and this was in the staff report too, is recommending demolition of the building and installing a historic interpretive marker that would honor the Lacey's resort area. So the recommendation is based on the loss of the historic integrity of the building, that rehabilitation of it, even through a private partnership, would conflict with some of the environmental preservation goals because it's in a habitat reserve. The building is unsafe and it's at risk of collapse. And so that means maintenance costs are escalating. And vandalism and maintenance costs continue to strain resources. It's kind of really prominently located on Pacific Avenue, which is a great target for graffiti. And so there's also just no cost or no funding source for rehabilitation for it. And then also would preserve the trail that the community built, so.
So I've heard the mayor talk about this more than once.
Yeah.
Of wanting to see it rehabilitated for, but I've never heard what we would rehabilitate it for, and none of the background information, I mean, I did read this.
Right.
Said, what would we do? Would we make it a museum? Would we make it a, and,
Right,
and so I'm curious, I mean, maybe you have intel on what the mayor thinks he wants to do with that, or, or.
I don't know specifically.
Cause I've never heard him articulate, but I've
Right.
heard him say it more than once.
Right, I think I think there's interest in preserving the building. And it could be through a business that's there. It could be through, I don't, yeah, we're not entirely.
Not entirely sure where he.
I don't think he really had a
Yeah.
decision on what it should be, but he just wanted to, I think for him, it was just a concern having, one more old building that's part of the history of Lacey to
Yeah,
be gone.
And
yeah.
yeah, and I think maybe the idea of a public-private partnership is because it could be something, develop it into something with maybe some historic preservation at no cost or low cost
Yeah.
to the city. And so that's kind of what these reports were, is like, okay, well, let's figure out how feasible that is.
Right,
And
and I
so,
wanted to sort of kind of compare it to the Grange Starbucks
Henderson.
place down in,
Yeah.
Henderson. But maybe I dreamt that, but you heard that too, okay,
Comparison, but
yeah.
found
And so,
that just the
What are you asking?
structure is not as sound as
The
that.
recommendation to support one of them?
yeah, so I think our request is for a motion to approve the staff recommendation for the McKinney building, which is to demolish.
Make a motion to do so.
And then, can I just amend
Yes,
that?
yes.
And to put the marker up there. I think the
Right,
marker would
right.
be really cool because I used to run by there all the time, even in 1998 when
Yeah.
McKinney was still living in
Yeah.
it. And I had no idea that that was really, there was a person living
Right.
in there. So yeah, I like the idea of the marker though,
Yeah.
to replace it, not just,
And that is that is
Yeah.
the staff report
Recommendation.
recommendation is to demolish
Right.
the building, but then install an interpretive
Right.
marker. So I think the motion could be approve the staff recommendation for the McKinney building. Like, unless you have other things that you'd like to.
Would the interpretive marker like include pictures of what the resort and the
Yeah.
building looked like?
Yeah,
'Cause that would be
typically,
cool.
yeah, typically all of our markers have photos, they have
Yeah.
narrative about the history, the background.
Yeah.
There's a couple really good ones on the Woodland Trail. Like the Jackson family marker is on there, and then there's one at the depot. And so this would be,
Yeah.
and then there's the whole thing out at the rack too.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah, no, I second your motion.
Okay, thank you.
We have a first and we have a second. Any further discussion?
I have a couple of questions. So, I mean, I presume that this has gone before the historic commission, yes?
It
Yeah.
has not, it's going to them next month.
Okay, do we have any, I mean, I guess,
Sorry, what?
Later this month,
Yeah, is it next week that they go?
the 19th.
Oh, the 19th, yeah.
oh, November.
Yeah, sometimes there's just timing, like we didn't get the staff report quite approved until our meeting and then, but yeah, it's going to
But
them.
weren't they involved in the whole, when the historic preservation people came in and did the assessment, wasn't the commission involved in all of that?
Aaron's done several
Good
reports to them throughout the process.
Yeah.
And informally, it hasn't been an official business.
Not official, so they haven't
They're
officially
aware-
taken action.
they're aware, this is a possibility. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And then, like, has there been any public comment about it or any, like, public awareness kind of stuff that's gone out? Because, I mean, I guess because it is such a prominent building
Mhm.
on a very busy road, and then it just disappears one day, and then
Yeah.
people don't know about that, that could be really
Right.
challenging. So I'm just wondering if there's a, like, what the plan for that kind of
Yeah,
is.
yeah, typically we do some notification, certainly with the permitting process. That would definitely be part of it too.
Okay, I mean, if our mayor's very keen on doing something with the building, does he know that this is a possibility
He
as well?
does, he does know that this is coming, and I will also just note that the council does not have to take recommendations.
No, I get
So they
it.
could say no,
Okay,
continue on, so,
got
yeah.
it. Okay.
And before this can move forward, does the historic commission also have to be on board?
Yes, they'll get the same staff
Yeah.
report
Okay.
and make the same,
So it's not just up to us?
nope,
Got
nope.
it.
And-
So they
and-
could say, no, we wanna keep it forever, and then it doesn't matter.
No,
Okay, got it.
correct. And I do think this is a really interesting project because I mean, obviously, you're looking at it from both aspects, but the use of the park is definitely more of a parks aspect, and then the historic preservation is definitely more in the historical commission's consideration, so yeah, I trust
And
them.
the building has just been floundering and disappearing before our eyes in the last 35 years. No, it just looks like in the windows, and then even when they went and repainted it and made it try to look a little bit better about 15, 20 years ago. I mean, yeah, no, it's,
It's a challenge and it sounds like,
yeah,
it sounds like any restoration of it poses its own challenge with its location to so many sensitive areas as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
You couldn't put a parking lot there or
No.
anything?
No, and so like I said, what would you use the
Yeah,
building
I mean,
for?
theoretically you could, but that's part of the development problem is that there's so many, like you'd have to take out those white oaks, which is not a great.
And you have the,
Yeah.
it was, Woodland Creek was a salmon bearing stream at one time. So you have that challenge too.
Well, the
trying to
church will
protect
give
that.
us property and we'll just go right over there.
Right. Right. So, yeah, that's a challenge without a defined.
And I think this discussion is a good just reminder to us, you know, we, as a board, we always seem to vote unanimously with each other. But we do have the opportunity, if we do have dissenting ideas
sure.
about this and a motion has been carried. You don't have to vote in favor of it, you know, just a reminder, we want any of us to just.
We could abstain if we wanted to even, right?
Exactly. So, make sure, you guys are voting with your own personal consciousness, not just with what you think is going to be.
Another $50,000 blue tarp, we can do that again. That's how much we
I'd
paid
rather
last
spend that
time.
on fences or
I
the
would-
playground.
It was
I will say-
$50,000 for the
Put the
tarp on the
top.
roof.
How?
It's not a blue tarp.
It was a
It's-
very big blue tarp and they had to do lots of them, right?
I will also just mention
Got it.
It's bad.
that you can't necessarily abstain unless there's a conflict of interest. So that is part of within our handbook of rules, so.
If
Not-
a relative used to.
Right.
Gotcha.
be in general.
Awesome. Well, we did have a motion to have staff's recommendation, and we did have a second. Does everyone feel comfortable voting on that now that we've had further discussion about it? Well, hearing the first and second, all in favor of going with staff's recommendation? Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And then was that the only thing for this time on the beginning? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It really was fascinating reading. I
Yeah.
knew a lot of that,
Yeah.
but I didn't know a lot too. And so
Yeah.
I enjoyed actually reading all that background.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I regrettably have not really ventured into the Lois Lake habitat trails, so seeing
was really-
the photos of all of it made me like, what am I missing out on?
Right, it's really popular. A lot of people take their dogs there to walk. The challenge is there's no parking. And so
Yeah, I was gonna
there's
say,
just
where do
a
you
couple
park?
of spots right on the street and right in front of the gate.
Or you park in that neighborhood where the other side of the lake is, and then you just have to cross Carpenter and go over.
just cross,
Technically parking.
Just cross Carpenter. Just go down.
Yeah,
go
but
down
that's-
the street light.
That
Okay.
gives you access to another side that doesn't cross all the way. So, yeah.
Okay, well, this leads us to section F. F, 2026 presiding officers, nominations and elections. So it's that time of year where we nominate and vote on new chairs and vice chairs. So we'll start with the chair. Open it up for anyone who would like to nominate submit a nomination. I don't mind doing it, so I will put my name in the hat too of like maintaining board chair if everyone is comfortable with that. But if someone else wants to nominate someone else or wants to be board chair as well, please like name in the hat as well.
Yeah, and for this, you don't have to do like a formal motion. It's just, I nominate so-and-so, or if you want to nominate yourself.
So I was totally gonna nominate you.
I mean, all are hoping.
So go-
nominated.
you've been doing a great job, Erin.
Yes.
I second that.
More months.
So I guess, since you
Uh,
nominated yourself.
Only 10 more
Yeah.
months, because August of, I will be done, August 2026, I will be done with
Like we reached your limit.
I'll be done with my third term and can no longer serve on
Was
the.
that
park
9
board.
years?
9 years, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank
And then
you.
really are, you really, it's like your term limited.
Yeah,
I'm limited,
we
I'm
We
turned
gotta find
out.
another commission.
There are term limits, can you believe it?
Change your name.
Unless I can find a loophole. Stay on
Change the
forever.
Constitution. Get on Air Force One. Chrysler.
Just ignore the law, who cares?
So are there any other nominations? Anyone interested? in serving this year?
Okay, well then, I guess, do I do this? So I motion to elect myself as chair, Aaron Wheeler,
Move to do that, since I said.
You please then.
No, go ahead.
Okay, then I do it, I nominate myself. As board chair, do I have a second?
Second.
Good, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, awesome, thank you, everyone. So now vice chair. So again, kind of the same process. Anyone wants to?
I nominate Lori.
Okay, Lori, all right. Any other nominations? Okay, awesome. Well, then I will make a motion to.
Yeah.
Oh.
The nomination.
I accept the
Okay.
nomination.
I kind of thought so when you. when like
Thank you for
the-
yeah, thank you for that.
Great.
Then I'll make.
My family keeps telling me I don't look down enough.
Then I will motion to elect Lori Davies as vice chair for 2026. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. It's simple.
Congratulations.
Keep it the
Thank
same.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Can I back up on something?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Aaron, you're not gonna be chairing.
Keep on.
The reports you had done on all the facilities, Smith House and all of that, and you jumped over to the, can't remember the Long Lake one.
Mhm.
We didn't discuss it.
But it's in part of, it's in one of the reports that I'll go over.
Okay.
The Long Lake House.
Yeah, the Long
Yep,
Lake
it's
House.
it's on the agenda to talk about here in a
Yeah.
little bit.
Oh.
It just, I just don't think it was an actual item for tonight. Okay, so then that moves us to number 7, reports. So any commissioner would like to report at this time?
I'm wondering if we could get a reader board at the community center.
A reader board at the community center?
Yeah, the lighted LED. Showing
Like-
events.
Like the schools have?
Yeah.
So, oh, that's, okay.
You can check.
So never.
So you like drive, so people driving
I've
by
been
saying
Pacific,
like,
You could see it.
okay,
It's like the one at the rack on the corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be beneficial to everybody.
I
A
think
lot
so.
of traffic there.
It'd be nice to make it be in
Another-
conjunction with the senior center, make it a cooperative.
Exactly.
I guess that's kind of what I was thinking, yeah, like events for the senior center was kind of like what the main thought for that, yeah.
But you have the whole thing. You
Yeah.
could break it down and senior center, community center.
Okay,
No, I like that idea.
not a bad idea.
Look into it. The challenge will be funding for it.
Right.
I know. I'm sorry to be the wet blanket. for it.
Who's
I
funding
know,
the
it's
thing,
always
isn't it,
funny.
Jenny?
But yeah, we can certainly look into that.
Can we advertise on those legally? If somebody's donating?
Oh, advertise, like
Like
if
a
somebody
sponsor
wants
did?
to, yeah.
Kind of a
Yeah,
corporate sponsor
for-
that would be like
Potentially,
with
yeah.
their logo or something on it.
Ken?
Yeah, we have lots of sponsorship agreements that we work with, and so, yeah. You know somebody who wants to donate a reader board?
Gary.
No, wants to donate money for a reader
For
board.
money to,
Yeah.
so they get so many minutes a month or the
Yeah.
first
Well,
6 months.
Yeah, we could,
This reader board's brought to you by.
right, or it could just be on there permanently, that, not the digital display, but yeah, there's lots of options.
Yeah.
And one thing that they are working on is a sponsorship and marketing agreement with a company, so that might be coming soon anyways, but
A certain
Talk about that in
company.
about 3 minutes.
oh, is that in your report? Sorry. Okay, never mind.
Thunder.
Yep, hang tight.
I'll be
hang tight.
He's taking my thunder. I should not even have come.
Right, right.
Well, thank you, Gary, that was a great suggestion.
Great idea.
Any other commissioners have anything they'd like to report or present? Okay. Only thing that I have is just remind everyone that it's December 1st, the tree lighting.
Oh,
Wow, already?
Is that part of your report too?
No, not that.
I might need to look that up, but you probably know.
I want to say it's December 1st. I think that's what Jeanette said. Yeah, so just, it's my favorite event of the year. I love it. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to go last year, but they changed the format, so it wasn't the parade. It was just kind of all of Huntermore Park and like around on the road where the vehicles lined up that you could vote on. But it just created a lot more just togetherness. People stayed, where before it'd be like you show up the parade and then everyone leaves, but this was just kind of an event that everyone stayed throughout the evening.
Because you're waiting outside for so long for the parade to start.
Yeah, and you're just jockeying for a piece on the road where you can see it and just kind of hanging out there. And I just thought what they did last year was such a great kind of shift and created more of a family friendly event, I felt like, and
I think the Lacey newsletter did say it was December 1st. That
Yeah.
sounds right.
okay, it is, yeah, good, yeah.
Is the format gonna be the same this year?
As last year, yeah, so it's gonna be the same where it has that, and yeah, and I'll be emceeing it again this year, so that's my favorite thing to do, and yeah, just I'm really excited for it, so I hope to see everyone there.
And what time does it start? You
Whoa.
have to tell us them.
I don't know that part.
I think it's kind of like,
Like 5.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah, probably fine, yeah. 7:30 when you throw the light or something. Perfect. Yeah, that's what I got. And then so next up to you, just Sue Falish, the recreation manager.
Thank you very much. Do have a couple things to kind of put on your, what's your thoughts, prior to doing the program evaluations. We are doing, as Jenny had mentioned, we have a naming rights and sponsorship. We did an RFP for that. We had, and kind of had, it's called High Level Promotions, had been reaching out to us for probably the last year and a half, kind of courting us, trying to look at doing something where we could utilize the, like the RAC, do some naming rights or something along those lines. When we decided that we were wanting to move forward with that, we did go out for an RFP. We ended up with two groups. We have the High Level Promotions and we have the Superlative Group, Inc. has also put in an RFP, so we will be reviewing those this next week. Probably doing interviews the following week to come up with who we feel would be the best for us. It's something where it's not gonna cost us anything. They would be going out looking for the high level sponsorships or the naming rights, and there would be a percentage attached to that in a contract with that. It's yet to be determined because we're still in the reviewing process, but that is going on. We also just got through doing the RFP for the fireworks. We had two different groups. We had the Wolverines and the Western Fireworks, who has done it in the past. We did interviews today and we'll be discussing that tomorrow and picking a group for the July 3rd fireworks for next year.
So with the naming rights, are you like looking at a particular facility or park to do the naming rights with, or is this just a general contract that we would have that we would?
We were largely looking at facilities such as whether it be the community center, the RAC was the biggest one, whether it be for the entire RAC or would be broken down into fields. I mean, those are some of the conversations, or the baseball complex could be sponsored by X, Y, and Z, and the soccer complex could be sponsored by something different. So it's just an avenue to try to get some other people's money.
Yeah.
Will there be criteria around what types of organizations or people can name a place?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
And we have that now, even with the small amount of sponsorships we do now. They have to fill out, you know, if you're going to sponsor something, and there's a questionnaire that has to be filled out to make sure that you are following the same city values.
Sure.
And so it's very tightly looked at. It's not gonna be, everything's gonna have to be approved before anything goes out. It's not gonna be Busch Light Park or
Right.
some of those things, so.
Coors Light Park.
It's just an avenue we were trying, you know, to come up with, you know, any means we can to try to fulfill, get some money and to do some of the projects that we were hoping to be able to accomplish.
Would it include like some of our major events as well, like the basic fun fair,
I feel like
fireworks?
Hunter Park would be great to have a corporate sponsor, honestly.
Oh, for that whole part.
Yeah.
Because we're just previewing
Yeah,
this right now.
sorry.
But yet to be determined. Initially, we weren't looking at the smaller ones, but if we could get a bigger corporate sponsor to do the events. I know we were definitely looking at the 3rd of July as one of the events that they would be
Yeah.
looking at. But we didn't want, it's not something we want them to spend their time trying to get a $500 here or $1,000 here. We
Yeah.
want, we're looking more big ticket items, not the small.
Sure.
But yeah, if we could come up with one, that would be fabulous. Some of the other things, we did hire the hybrid position, which is 50% maintenance and 50% rec out at the regional athletic complex. Orlando, who had been working the last 3 years in Olympia, pretty much doing the same thing, but as a seasonal. He'll be starting right after Veterans Day, and as Cody mentioned, Doug will be back with us, and we're really excited about that as the coordinator, and he will be starting November 17th. We still have Fulton's position, which has kind of created some internal look of how we're doing things. And we're hoping to get that one out in the next week. That position has primarily looked at, you know, kind of doing the marketing and the social media. But we've found that that doesn't quite match the actual coordinator job description. It's more of a description that would be over on this side of the building and communications. So we're having to kind of relook how we're wanting to promote that position to go out, so.
What is the position?
It's a halftime coordinator. It was Fulton, and he did a lot of like the marketing, and he did the newsletter and, you know, helped do some stuff with social media.
Rec banners.
rack banners, he worked on some sponsorship stuff. But that doesn't quite fit into what has been the criteria of the recreation coordinator position, which is been set by with. There's some union issues. It's nothing major. It's just we were trying to revamp it and found out that you can't.
Because of its classification.
Yeah. So it's okay. We're working through it with HR and we've got an avenue. We met yesterday and moved forward with that. And so.
Communication, do you want some of them too close to the work?
Yeah, so we're doing, it's gonna be there. We'll get there. It's probably just not happening as soon as we'd like it to. Next deal, I get to talk about our program updates, which is always a fun thing to talk about. For the summer, there was so much, the staff did a phenomenal job. They were not only aquatics, but you know, I'm not gonna talk about Cody's because he shared that with you today, but between special events, everything else. It was a great summer for us. Aquatics. They ran programs at North Thurston, and also this is in your packet too, so I'm just gonna hit the highlights. They ran the aquatics at North Thurston High School from 8 AM to 8 PM, Monday through Thursday. Throughout the summer, he brought back some of the programs we'd had before, the parent taught swim lessons, teen swim lessons, and adult swim lessons. And this summer, they taught 691 individual lessons in the summer. So that was pretty kind of exciting for the aquatics. Special events, as you know, were great. 3rd of July, we've talked about before, they had over 40,000 people in the park. That included nearly 2,000 people that lived 50 miles or away. The Lacey and Tune was a huge success as normal. We are looking at potentially scaling it down a little bit this summer because of we'll have Jeanette will be retiring. And that will leave us with Erica, and depending on how the timing goes, so we've been growing and we might look at kind of Thursdays, the program that used to go to the various parks. We may hold that off a year just because we won't have the staffing really to do the 4 days a week, every week of the summer like we had in the past. Community recreation, I'm gonna just let you guys read that in the packet. Cody did a fabulous job kind of talking about that. Facilities and rentals, community center, Jacob Smith House, that is, you know, the summer, spring wedding season. They hosted 70 private banquets, 77 individual meetings. We're trying to implement putting some more of our recreation programs in the community center. And we had 53 of the 92 days from July to September hosted recreation programs. Picnic shelters were busy as usual. Those always seem to, they just kind of keep growing and growing and growing. So that's a great avenue for us. Obviously, the athletic complex was busy. During that summer, there was 13 baseball and softball tournaments. We had the Cascade Nationals fast pitch, top tier all-star games, USSSA's state tournament. We did the USA fast pitch state tournament. We had Lake Fair volleyball. Seattle Touch Rugby held a national tournament. We had people from all over the country. That was really a neat one to see happen in our area. Youth sports, Byron does a fabulous job. The Lacey Little Baseball, we had over 300 players. We had 48 volunteer coaches. Lacey Doubles Pickleball League ran for 4 divisions with 46 teams. I think Jenny played in that.
I did, very poorly, but I did play in it, yes.
They did participate. Just want to make sure we're all participating. Also our outdoor volleyball league had 20 teams, which is an increase. It had been going down and now it's back on the rise, so that's nice to see. And between Skyhawks 23 Kitchens, Black Hills Gymnastics, and tennis, we ran 42 different summer camps for youth, sports camps. The front desk and customer service do a phenomenal job as always. They oversaw the very successful fall registration, made web page, edits for events and transition from summer season into fall and winter. And I believe Carter is working on the trails map for the various parks. A little bit on marketing matrix. This has been on hold since we haven't had Fulton. But for our newsletter, we have 9,418 subscribers. We're averaging for 2025, the open rate was 55%, so that's pretty good. Our Facebook page had 13,000 visitors. We reached 74,000 people. Our Instagram, we're working on, it's getting better. We had 1,300 visitors, reached 2,400 people, but it's something we're continuing to work on and continuing to grow. Lace Museum, they had a great Lacey Adventure scavenger hunt in July. And Arts Rocks, where they had people come into the museum and they were painted rocks. It was pretty neat opportunity for folks. The first history talk happened this summer, and events of 2026 season will be held September 11th. I don't know what that is. It's in your deal. It doesn't make sense to me, sorry. I'm just reading everybody's stuff. So, and the parks planning, as you're aware of, the Keogh Park construction is making great progress, and the Woodland Park Bridge replacement project is complete. And there's a lot more detail in there for you guys to read at your leisure, but just want you to know that we have an incredibly creative group of folks, and very excited to see what they do in the upcoming year.
Thank you, Sue.
That's
Awesome.
it.
Good. All right, well, the next three, Parks Maintenance Supervisor update, Senior Parks Planning update, and the Director's update will be handled by our Senior Park Planner, Jenny Wilson.
Thanks. So have Jamie's report for Parks Maintenance. They did synthetic turf repairs at the rack, also play toy repairs at the rack. They removed 6 hazard trees. They did inspections on the Keogh Park playground, which is getting very close to looking like a real playground, so it's exciting. They also have spent 25 hours of labor to support Children's Day, so they're always really helpful for our events, but take some time, so. They've also been doing some surveying of park users to gather information on parks conditions. They removed 398 yards of leaves from parks and right-of-ways. So the fall leaves, as Aram has mentioned, are so pretty, but also a lot of work, so. Interviews and selection process for 2 permanent positions. And then Jamie has been involved with the review of statement of qualifications for and interviews for the operation and maintenance facility improvement project. They've also been helpful with the Bush Park playground design and feedback on that. They're also involved with when the bridge got opened. They're part of the review team looking for punch list items, so very helpful there. And then their rapid response team was recognized and City Council for life-saving efforts. And somebody, I believe it was on the Karen Fraser Woodland Trail. So that was very great to have them there. And then also completed performance reviews for 5 probationary employees. And 2 of them have completed their probationary period. So that's Jamie's report. And then I'll go into my report. I like to give mine with slides. Where's mine? Here we go. So construction is coming along really well at Greg Keogh Park. We recently did a Facebook post which had some of these photos. And so we're hopeful to open by year end, pending some completion of some remaining items. So here's kind of an overview of the site, the sign.
Did the grass take like they wanted it to?
It's struggling.
Is it?
Yeah. I think there's been so much rain.
I was gonna say, like, I didn't know if like too much rain now, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so it got hydro seeded, but yeah, there's definitely gonna be some challenge. And then, trails are mostly complete. No, I think we walked on some with our tour, so they were pretty far along then. And the playground is taking shape, so, it's a nature themed playground. It's interesting when we did the Facebook post, it was like, you can't show too close because then people are gonna get way too excited and try to go out there before we open, so. And then here's just a few more. The picnic shelter is mostly done.
That's nice and big.
It's huge. It's got 12 picnic tables underneath there.
Wonderful.
It's really nice, big shelter. And then there's gonna be a couple kiosks throughout the park. And so I'm gonna let Carter talk about this one because he did all the work.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny, for
Missed the
letting me
cuts there.
steal a
Yeah.
few minutes of your report to go over this. So this is an example of what will be out. Jenny has gotten them ordered, so that we're officially in business here. So it's gonna follow the similar theme of our other kiosks for that brand identity, but these ones are huge. If you were out with the tour, I think they're 4 by 6 foot, so a little bit more went into them.
Yeah, they're gonna go on these right there.
Yeah, so there's the one there that Jenny showed by the picnic shelter, and then there's also one, it's actually where that blue circle is. I know it's a little hard to see on our PowerPoint slide there, but that's where the other one
Okay.
is going to be. It's actually on the trail. So just a few things that are different on this than our other kiosks is obviously the map. So Sue sort of alluded to in some of the program updates that I've been working with Jenny pretty extensively over this past quarter to get maps of all of our, some key parks, not quite all of them, all of the ones that have major trail systems in them. To the point earlier, Lake Lois is one of those actually, so we'll hopefully be able to highlight those awesome trails out there a little better soon. But the big unveil being Cuyo. So let's see here, what do we have going on? Well, first I'll just mention that Jenny was able to secure a sponsorship for $3,000 with the Hawks Prairie Rotary, so that's why we see their logo down there in the bottom right-hand corner. So that's super great. So that paid for the printing. These are gonna be on metals. And again, they're huge, so they do cost a little bit of money. So super glad to have that sponsorship and that partnership. But otherwise, if we look at the actual map, this is gonna be sort of the blueprint we use for all of those trails that we're gonna map. So very excited to bring those back to you all when we can get working on the rest of them. But what we have is the coloration between the actual types of grass and like landscaping at the park, so that it's the color's a little bit different just on the screen than it's gonna print naturally, but yeah, there we go. So this like lighter sage color here is the meadowscape, whereas this little patch of just green is a little more manicured lawn. It's not quite as manicured as our other parks, but you could sit out there once the grass actually grows and have a picnic. Whereas this here, again, it's a little harder to see on the screen, but it's like blotchy green is the actual forest. So that's on there to help distinguish folks that you're not gonna necessarily be able to go enjoy that like you can this area here. But other than that, we have the actual trail system, which is super exciting. So Jenny and I went out several times with actual GPS devices, so it's all incredibly accurate with GIS and
Cool.
the map. So we have,
Maps will be on the kiosk as you walk in then?
so this is the kiosk. Yep,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Okay.
And then we will have a version of the map available online, and that's what this QR code here is. That way you could scan it and take that map with you on your phone.
But don't scan it yet because it's not up yet.
It is not. It'll take you somewhere,
me
it just
too.
won't have the map. So we have a few different trail surface types. So there's orange. I know I feel like it's really far away, so my eyes can't quite tell, but orange is the most of it, and so that's crushed rock. And then there's a few green, which is this little connector here, and then this big connector out here, which is gonna be mulch. So that's distinguished. And then the dotted lines are part of the disc golf trail. So again, you can see it a little better if it was printed and up close. But the disc golf trail is brown, and then this right here where my cursor is a number 1. So that's the first hole We have a dotted line to the throw path of the first tee. And then another little brown line to get out to the second tee, that's a 2 if you squint really hard. Dotted line for the throw path, out to the basket for, the second hole. So that, as you can see, goes, it's a whole separate trail system, completely separate than that normal walking path.
So Kurt,
Yep,
that alternative entrance that we needed for emergency services, is there gonna be parking up there?
there is not. It'll actually have a gate that's gonna be
Is
closed.
it gonna be closed at Carpenter?
Yep.
Okay, so people can't even turn in
They can, there is enough room to turn in, but there,
and then turn back out.
Right.
Gate.
right, there's a
Do little
gate. Yep.
U-turn.
Yep. And so the trail does go all the way up to there, and you can see the disc golf does cut through there,
Right.
but yeah, great question, Bill.
Okay.
What else here? I'll just highlight really quick, there is 2.8 total miles of trail.
Oh,
That does not include the disc golf though, that's just the actual like walking trail, obviously you could.
mulch and gravel.
And the paved, there's a paved loop
Oh, right there, okay.
right here, and this little blob is the picnic shelter icon. We have the playground.
Okay.
So this little paved loop here is, we got a half a mile on that. And then the crushed rock total is about 2 miles, and then the mulch is another half mile, but again, it's about 2.8 in total,
Awesome.
so. And then the last thing I'll highlight is this little thing down here is, obviously, this is a really big park, bigger trails than anything we've had in Lacey. And so it's a little confusing once you get back in there. If you all were with us on the tour, I'm sure you can relate to that. So at least to start out, we're doing the suggested loop trails. And so here, we're letting folks know that the outer loop of that paved section is about a quarter of a mile. And then I know it's hard to see here, but there's another little highlighted loop option that's 1 mile. Obviously you can walk it however you choose, but sort of providing that direction of,
That's
hey, by the
helpful.
way, if you do this part, it is a full mile loop. So,
What grade of crushed rock did they use? 5/8 minus or?
pop quiz, goodness.
I wanna say that I think it's 5/8, but I'd have to look.
Well, they're very big.
Yeah, it's
They
pretty
are
cool.
big.
They're pretty big.
They've been rolled down.
Yeah.
So they're
It's not
decently
super.
compact.
It was pretty easy to walk.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
It's the bigger rocks.
We have to replace it every few years or?
I think we'll have to replace it, but there's probably gonna be times where we have to add more. Yeah.
more, yeah. Makes sense. That's awesome.
Carter's done a ton of work.
Thank you,
with this
Carter.
and Learned how to use GIS, so
It's a great
pretty-
skill.
I don't know how to make
Pretty-
maps.
Yep, he's a map maker now. Yep.
Geocacher, like.
Yep.
That'd be a time. But yeah, thanks again, Jenny, for letting me present that. And then, like I said, excited to bring back we have about 10 other ones that we're gonna be doing throughout the parks, but had to pause and get the big one going for Curio ahead of the opening.
Curio Park's a lot of work.
Thank you, it's awesome.
Next up is. Here we go. So it's mentioned a couple times, the bridge is done and open. Here's a before and after. I think we've made some good improvements there.
Yeah.
So it opened a couple weeks ago, and let's see, just a few more photos.
An owl.
When I was out there,
Cool,
this
and
was
they're-
the opening day when they first opened it, and there was an owl just checking me out, so that was great.
So that isn't even posed, huh?
No,
That isn't
that is a
fake
real,
owl.
that is a real owl.
Cool.
Just like, here's my bridge.
I almost missed it because I'm not that observant, but. And then, so this was opening day, people were really excited. Probably I was more excited. I'd be like, did you know this bridge just opened? But they're like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, brand new
You
bridge.
don't realize all the work that goes into a bridge.
Yeah, and this was a project, took several years to get all the funding for it. First we
Wow.
had a budget request that wasn't quite enough and then had to get some more for construction, so it's been a lot of work. We really appreciate Capital Projects team for their help in getting this all done. And then the other thing that we need to talk about is doing like a ribbon cutting ceremony for this. And so wondering if, since it's getting dark so early, wondering if there's time or day like 3:30 that people would be, I think we really would like Parks Board to be there.
Mhm.
I don't think we're gonna do a huge celebration like we are at Cuyo Park, but just a ribbon cutting ceremony. So I think
During the week or on the weekend?
probably during the week if possible. So
Friday,
On
yeah,
Fridays?
that's a good
Fridays
idea.
are
Yeah,
usually-
Fridays are good.
I'll send out some options for Fridays. If you guys have any vacations or anything, not Friday after
No
Thanksgiving.
meetings on Fridays.
Okay, perfect, great. Yep, it'll be quick. We're not doing a whole. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about with you is proposed meeting dates and times for 2026. I'll bring this to our next meeting for official approval or action, but just wanted to put this out here now. So it really mirrors 2025. There is an additional meeting in April. We didn't have one in 2025 because it fell during spring break week, but that's not an issue this year, so. And then there would be no meetings in January. And that's really because we have the joints work session the following week, also New Year. There'd be no meeting in July, which is similar to what we've done in the past because we have the 3rd of July a few days later and it's just a busy week with holidays. And then also no meeting in September. And instead we would do a tour similar to what we did this year. So does this look okay to everybody for now?
Sure.
No, it's hard to plan this far in advance, but. Oh, and then I'll get to that one. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is Bush Park playground replacement. So we're moving forward with the tugboat design. We met with the playground company and we're able to add an additional spinning feature kind of in the corner of the park. And we also changed the design a little bit to add an access point to the second tier. So originally it had a like almost rope climbing structure to get to the second tier. Well, kids might be able to do that. So we added like a ladder kind of step feature that's pretty common. And so it changed the design a little bit, but I think they were all good changes. So, and then we also, as part of the grant, have to do a cultural resources assessment. And so we had those hired consultants for that. And for that site and also for Rainier Vista, and both of those came back with no findings, so we can proceed with the project. And we're hoping for spring of 2026 to start construction on that one.
Cultural resource, like.
Yeah, it's something that's required with the grant, and they actually we have to hire a consultant, like an archaeologist, to go out.
It's like DAP
Yep.
requirement, right? Yeah.
Yep,
Even though there was a playground there beforehand.
right,
and-
yeah, trust me, we tried, we're like, do we really have to do this?
So it's like making sure it's like, I don't know. like
Burial
making-
ground, yeah,
Okay.
right, and they
that's-
actually
you know,
go
like-
out, they do test pilot holes, they dug like 12 holes at each site.
Okay,
Sift through the stuff and be like,
Cool.
and tell us what they find. So they found some plastic, so nothing, very garbage, but other than that, it was right.
American culture.
Exactly. So, yeah, those reports need to get reviewed by the grant funding agency, which can take like 90 days. So, if all goes well. So yeah, we're excited to have those, done and potentially moving forward, so.
Perfect.
And then the other project is Rainier Vista Park Improvements. So we recently posted a request for qualifications for the design, or to hire a consultant to do the design and engineering for that project. And so it's hopefully we'll get those back and have them reviewed by early December. And so just a reminder, we're planning for pickleball courts, ping pong, and safety netting on the baseball field at that project. And our target for construction is like spring of 2028, so that one's a little further out. And now I'm on to the director's report. And I was gonna show you Long Lake House. So we have an update. This is an item that's on your work plan. And in 2022, the city acquired that piece of property right next to existing Long Lake. It's about 1.8 acres of property. And it includes a single-family home, a two-car garage, and about 420 feet of lakefront property. There's a lot of trees on this site. And this has been a parcel that we've kind of had in our long-term plan since like the early 80s. So adding it was a pretty important for community access to more water, swimming, fishing. And so the information for tonight is that we're moving forward with demolishing the house and the garage and the dock that's on this site. So this is really due to several reasons. There's ongoing vandalism at the site. It's boarded up. It was purchased 3 years ago, but it's really been a burden on facilities and staff and the city's budget. The capital and maintenance costs to make improvements are too high, and there's no funding source for that. So kind of similar challenges as the McKinney House. The future planning for this site really never intended to have an indoor facility. It was really for trails, kayaking, fishing, swimming. And so there's really no identified reason for the house or improvements that can be made for it. So as you might have read in our properties report, it is eligible for the Lacey Register of Historic Places. But per our policy, if it's eligible, it needs to be documented prior to demolition, which that's part of what this contract was with this group. So that has been completed. And we're looking at demolishing this house in potentially by this summer 2026. And so this is just kind of giving you an update on this, and also Historic Commission also received the same update related to this house. So it's our.
Is the plan to expand the beach area for swimming?
We need to do some additional design, but yes, I think the greatest need and interest is probably in swimming and this really great waterfront access. I think we've heard from people they'd like more fishing opportunities. So, but all of that would have to come with some future design
Oh, yeah.
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, I've lived on the lake for 54 years, but is there any joint stuff with the or Fish and Wildlife?
Not at this,
Because-
not at this time, but
Cause that's what the community needs out there.
Right.
You can't, I was out there, took 2 boats out last weekend,
Right.
and they park all over cars.
right,
You can't do anything. It needs a whole revamping.
yes.
Probably community use.
Yeah, I think if there was ever funding, if we went out to design, we certainly would reach out to Fish and Wildlife and see if there was any potential partnerships on,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's perfectly situated right between, yeah,
Well, it is, and I think there's ways that you could benefit both, you know,
Right.
and get the fishing piers that interfere now with
Right.
boating, they're
right.
crates and coolers and.
One thing that I will mention is that the property is very there's a really big hill on this side, which is actually kind of creates a little bit of a separation from the boat launch area. But so yeah, that would all be,
Well, the uphill stuff could be joint parking for trailers and.
So is Fish and Wildlife, do they own that boat launch? Is that where you're?
Yep.
Okay.
yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a poor design they have there now, believe me.
It is a-
You
it is
see
an
those
awful
car
launch.
parking by the launch?
Mhm.
They got 4 or 5 striped stalls there for cars. And you come around with a 22 or 26-foot boat, you're over in the travel lane again. You can't line up with the boat launch. either.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Shouldn't
think
have
there's also
parking.
been a huge surge in paddle sports that are not not motorized, but people going out paddleboarding, kayaking. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
we definitely see the need and understand that. It's just, right now, we're just,
They may have some supportive funding too.
yes, we'll certainly try.
You get my license every year.
Got it. Yep. So, yeah, so that's the update on that. That site, and that concludes my pictures for tonight.
And just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Was it because there was previous, like, thought of renovation of the McKinney House while we voted on that and then not on this location? There's
Yeah.
no plan for this one.
Right, I think that's primarily it, is that I
Okay.
think there's been pretty significant interest in the McKinney House, both with council and just previously investing some money to structurally secure it. And this is a new new building,
Undeveloped
undeveloped, that we
plan.
really had no
Okay.
plan. We just knew we wanted the property for future
Perfect.
open space, yeah.
Okay.
And then the only last thing that I have is just an update on the North Thurston Public Schools Young Child and Family Center, which you might be able to share about this. So they have officially named the site. It's the Lacey Education and Family Leaf Center. And so obviously this is on our work plan. And so although we don't have funding to contribute to the project this time, it's still something that we're really excited about for the school district. And hopefully we can partner with them.
The district has funding though.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yes,
their bond money.
yes, and they're moving forward with the project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Our contribution was going to be potentially indoor playground, maybe a splash park. So that's just without the NPD passing, that's just a challenge. But we just wanted to share that they've named it. And then there's also a really great video on the school district website that walks you through it, like in a video rendering.
And the
So-
Y still partnered too, right?
Also for the same reason as the city, probably. not at this time.
Not it, yeah, okay.
So, and that's,
When is that due to be completed? Looks like it's getting close.
yeah, oh, I can't remember.
What are the amenities that it will be offering?
It'll have, I believe there's gonna be library access.
Like a branch of the TRL or separate library?
I think it's the
I-
Timberline.
Timberline, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be,
Timberland.
yeah.
Oh, it's an extension of the.
Timberline's high school, yeah.
They're also, I believe it's gonna have a large kitchen, community spaces in there, and yeah, classroom spaces, obviously.
And then,
Wait, is that the one on Slater Kenny that they're?
It's right next to the Mon House Center. It's like.
Oh, this one that we're talking
Oh.
about is the one that's by.
Used
the
to be
Rat,
up
middle
there.
school, by-
Oh,
Molly,
okay,
yeah,
got it.
yeah. That's funny. I've had a couple people ask about that, so.
Cause
the
there is
Center is gonna
I
be.
know you're talking
North
about it.
Thurston building over at Slater.
Yeah, that one's gotta be done here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for
It's cool.
some of the old school people, that one is the former Bally's
Yeah,
Pac
Bally's.
West.
Yeah. It's the extension of the Monhaus Center into.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
previous location of North Thurston's smoke pit.
You're right, you're right, it was.
Do you really know about that?
Oh, 100%. I was participating in the smoke pit. I will for sure.
It's like Wonderwood for Timberland.
Will there be, like, with that, you know, and that, since we didn't have the funding to partner with the Early Learning Center now,
Mhm.
does that disrupt, like, with what they're going on with the plans, if we were going to add on to it later? Is there room for that?
I
Yes.
believe there's still room,
Okay,
but so it could be developed in phases.
okay,
but
okay.
Cool.
That's all that I had. That's the end.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely, please.
Way out in Leaf Field,
Yeah.
but in the front of the building are all these beautiful yellow.
Oh, yeah.
That are on there. I mean, I know beautiful to me, but not to whoever has to clean them up. What is that? What tree is that? What is that?
Oh,
It's an eco tree.
It's what?
Ginkgo.
Ginkgo. You're so good.
Isn't it great? They look like little fans that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so pretty.
They all
It's
just fold
almost like
directly,
a
like, it's
light.
perfect.
You can have some.
Yeah. Please take some as you leave.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm, thank Carter for knowing. I just, every day I'm like, oh, this is so pretty, but I never look to find out what it is.
Awesome. Well, anything else that anyone wants to bring to go to the order? Thanks from Carter. Jen, you said you're done?
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, then,
Anybody know when the
6:58,
police station
meeting
is gonna
done.
be rejected?
What?
Police station.
Oh, I just heard, I think they're talking about sometime in the first quarter of 2026, so. January.
That's soon.
So within the next couple months then, that's
They
amazing.
have a jail.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I don't know.
Holding.
No idea.
Indoor shooting
I
range.
think it is, so they don't have to take everybody to the.
Or in squad.
Or Nisqually. is where they
Nisqually,
go to.
yeah.
It's called a holding tank, on it. It can't be a jail.
I don't
I don't, yeah.
He's the lawyer, I can't.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. You wanna-
Thank you, Jenny.
Did you officially adjourn the meeting?
Oh,
Adjourn.
Yeah, train.
I think I did, I think I did.
Random concentration.
I've never even looked into that.
Yeah,
No.
I haven't looked closely, but I know it is